Just
Eff It.
Eff It. Hi, I'm Romi,
Hi, and I'm Carla.
and together we are the
The Eff It
EFFing Madres. We are here to invite you guys into stories of some inspiring madres.
Who have changed their lives through an Eff It moment. So here we go. Just Eff It.
Happy Monday, guys.
Happy Monday. Monday. I'm like, how's everybody? Like anybody can answer.
How y'all doing out
How
there?
are you all doing?
Can I get a hey?
Hey, someone might do it in the car. You never know.
That's true.
That's true. Okay, so as you guys, I hope, heard, because the last episode we decided we wanted to change things up because after our weekend in Austin, after doing our Madre event, Romy and I had a really in-depth conversation about our motherhood journeys and really kind of, even though we've been friends for years and we know that we are very different, our motherhood journeys are so drastically different. And we were just like, wow, this is a really interesting topic to know, like to just understand our own journeys, how different they are, but also like to share these journeys, like to share each other's stories, because also other moms out there might resonate with one or the other. Everybody's journeys are very unique to their own, but like I'm sure that there are certain people that, you know, might find a connection between my story or your story. So we thought it'd be interesting to break this up from what our usual schedule and interview each other. So today I'm interviewing Romy.
Yay! And for those of you madres that are just tuning in for the first time, and we hope every week there's a new mom tuning in, we normally interview another mom, you know, and we share her effort moment, and they're inspiring, and they're encouraging, and they're empowering all of us women to kind of just say fuck it. And so we don't really have the time, right, Carla, to really interview each other because we're really taking the time to listen to these moms.
Mm-hmm.
So as we continue with this and we're getting deeper into this whole community that we're building, we really wanted you guys, like she was saying, to know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We're two moms interviewing moms, but you guys know nothing about
Well,
our own motherhood journeys,
Unless
you know?
yeah, exactly. You only know if you even heard the first episode about like why we're friends and why we're doing this, but not really about how we each have experienced motherhood. And I think it's important for every mom to share this story. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And those questions that we brought up at the event, they really are powerful questions for moms. And I think we witnessed that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for you to interview me.
All right. So I'm going to just dive right in, Romy.
Go for it.
So what has been your favorite part about motherhood?
Okay, so when you asked me this at the event, I got super emotional because it's so opposite because I just interviewed you. So I almost feel, and I shouldn't, I should say this. I almost feel bad sharing mine because I know yours. I know that sounds weird, but it's like and that's exactly what we don't want to do is we want to make sure everyone's story is okay and everyone's unique individual experience as a mother is okay. So I'm so aware now of the different experiences, I think, because we're talking about them that it's like, oh, do I sound obnoxious? Am I that woman? Am I that mom?
Right.
But the truth is, like, it is so fucking cliche, but my journey into motherhood like saved my life. Truly saved my life. So it was life-changing for me. It made me so selfless. I think I love that I became so selfless because I spent so much of my life being so selfish and so self-consumed in like me. That's all I had was me. I mean, that's, you know, I grew up being the daughter of boys, my brothers being special needs and that focus being there and me just really taking a lot of focus on me and my whole life. And then reality TV and everything I've done, it was just always me. And the minute I always wanted to be a mom. I mean, always. I've wanted it my whole life. And I don't think it was something that I thought honestly could even happen. I mean, I got pregnant at 33, you know. That was the first and only time I've ever been pregnant. Um, and I remember going to the doctor and thinking that I had a really bad stomach ache, you know, and then we went in there and he tested me and he came back and I was like, you know, I'm curious, like, do you think we could do some testing to see if I could ever get pregnant? And he was like, oh, honey, you are pregnant.
Wow.
And I mean, her dad and I had only been dating 6 months. We had just moved to Palm Springs. I honestly was running away from Los Angeles at this point. I was running away from the ending of my reality days. I was taking a time out from life and living in Palm Springs to just, I think you remember that,
Yeah.
to just fucking check out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a good thing that I did. And I got pregnant. And I remember the doctor telling me and me being like, oh my God, this is the best thing in the entire world. And it
Really?
was in that moment, Carla, like most women would have been like, oh my God, like I'm fucking pregnant and I barely know this guy. And we just moved here. And
Yeah.
like, you know, the fuck do I do? And I don't even know that he was exactly right away like, oh, yay. Like I think he had the normal response. I remember calling him at the hotel that we worked at. And he was like, what? And I was like, I know. And he was like, are you fucking crazy? And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is the most incredible day of my life. And I just took it on. Like, I ate everything in fucking sight. You saw me. I was like, woo, like, I'm going to just live this up. And I did. And every bit of my being changed, Carla. Every bit of who I was changed. It brought me back to my faith, becoming a mother. It brought me back to God, my Christianity, because I was able to experience this like almost miracle that it felt like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt really spiritually connected to something greater, becoming a mom.
Did you
I just
did you not have that sort of spiritual connection prior to at all?
I grew up in it. I've always had faith. I've always gone off and on and battled with my faith. But at the time that I got pregnant with her, I was not walking with any faith at that time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we both were not practicing faith. He was a non-believer. I wasn't in church. And I remember the minute I was like, we're getting baptized and like we've got to be married and like this is
Is that what you would
go
say
ahead.
essentially is your favorite part about becoming a mother, that it did change your identity?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely it changed my identity. I think she made me, I will honestly, I don't even say think. She made me a better person. She made me in tune with myself. She made me a better lover.
Mm.
She made me care about her world and her.
Mm-hmm.
And in that it took me out of mine.
Right. This is so fascinating because it's just like
Yeah,
the polar opposite of what, like,
I
when I
know.
hear you say this, I'm like, yeah,
I know.
no,
That's why
that did not happen for me.
that's why I was like when I hear you, it's like I'm like, "Oh God, do I say this?" But like women have such different
Yeah.
experiences, you know? And like, did I love being pregnant? Do I like you? Do I want to do that again? No. The vanity, we've talked about this, of my body,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
that was hard on
Yeah.
me. That was hard on me. And I
Yes.
really let myself go. And then I really had to work hard getting it back. And it was painful and it was exhausting and I had a really hard birth, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and I tore and I mean, I saw women with photos that looked like glamour shots as a baby. I had like a breathing mask on, blood coming everywhere, like a hemorrhoid. I looked like I just got through war. And I felt like I just got through war. Like
I love
no
that you just
lavender
threw in the
oils or
hemorrhoids.
fucking, you know, hemorrhoids were happening. I was like crying on a donut with like my boobs engorged, trying to learn how to breastfeed. Well, my butt hurts, my vagina's, I'm spraying it with alcohol. I mean, the whole thing wasn't beautiful. It was fucking, it was war.
Yeah. 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 It's a
And I went
trauma.
into it like, yeah, lavender oils and music, and we're going to bring her under the moon. And nothing went down like that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
am I in love with pregnancy and birth? No.
Mm-hmm.
But do I love that motherhood really helped me find myself and really helped me connect with who I was and really let go of this like selfish, consumed kind of woman who was putting on some act for herself and everyone around her, yes, I think that Frankie, she just completely changed my life.
As your friend and having known you
Yeah.
prior to, I feel like when I envision you, I envision you as this beautiful kite that's just like flying in the sky all over, and then Frankie is that anchor that's keeping you down,
Yes, yes.
you
Oh
know?
my God, yes. That's so good, Carla, because honestly, the thing that has kept me in a job in one place, as you've seen, it's been 6 years, 7 years, and like I have not been
Yeah.
all over the place. I'm pretty grounded in my roots. I don't think I would be this way if I weren't a mother. I think I would still be that kite all over the place in love. She's grounding me. And when I want to fly and get fucking free, I can't,
Yeah.
but in a good way,
Yeah. Yeah.
in a positive way.
Right.
I'm reminded that I have a responsibility,
Mhm.
and that is no longer whatever I want.
Mhm.
It's what she wants.
Right.
And so because I was such a kite that was all over the place, and you've seen I was all over the place.
Mhm. I know. That's why I was like, how
Yeah.
are we friends? I mean, like, we're
I
so
know.
different, but we just have this connection.
Yeah, like I was everywhere.
Yeah.
And this little girl just came in and she's my whole world. She's my whole world. And people say don't make your kid your whole world, and I have my identity, I have me, but yeah, she is my it's all for her. Like everything I do and every time I think of something, even when I'm thinking about what I'm doing for myself,
Mhm.
I ultimately think that it's ultimately going to benefit her.
Yeah.
So the things I do for myself, how it affects her,
Yeah.
the things I give myself, how does it affect her?
Yeah, one thing that I found interesting when it comes to the whole identity thing, then when we were talking in the car about all this, was that you said that you lost yourself in like just you only knew yourself as Frankie's mom, which
Yes.
now you're starting to break away from that, realizing that that is not what you can only be. Tell me a little bit more about that.
I was so afraid of continuing to fail her, and there's been like this grace of my ultimate goal is I want her to see me love somebody
Hmm.
and them love me, because that is a lesson right there. If I feel like if she sees that respect and love to her mother, and me respect and love somebody, that's a huge lesson right there. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? I didn't see that.
Right.
I never saw that. And so it's taken me 41 years to even know how to do it, which I still don't know how to do and I'm learning, but that's because I didn't have that in my home.
Hmm.
So I want that for her. These are the things that are important to me. I want her to see me work. I want her to see me go after things that make me happy. I want her to see me feel sexy. I want her to see me
Take care of
work
yourself. Yeah.
out and care about my
Right.
body. Um, those things are important to me.
Right.
Us doing this podcast,
Mhm.
when we decided to do this, I know we both related on that. I want to show her something that I am proud of.
Yeah.
Those things matter to me, but in that I have to be thinking about me.
Absolutely. But but
you
that's a
know
but that's a good thing. Like that's what
yeah.
you should be doing, and thinking about yourself as a mom is not a bad thing. We have to remember that. And I think it's a message that needs to like it's a message that needs to get drilled in to a lot
Hmm.
of moms' heads, because I still think like society puts it out there like when you have your kids, you have to put your kids first. Like, that's just the way it goes. But that's bullshit. Like, yes, your kids, you need to take care of them, make sure that you're, providing what you need to provide for them, but like don't forget yourself, because then ultimately you forget your kids, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And you also, like, I think the failures too, like that I was really hard on myself for, we're going to fail.
Yep.
So I went into motherhood with this idea of I am going to be the perfect mom.
Mm,
And mind you, my like I said, my experience becoming like that little girl is she's my whole my everything.
hmm.
She is my everything. I love her with every part of my being, and I went too far with trying to be a perfect mom, and
Mhm.
there isn't a perfect mom. And that reality was like slapped in my face. I failed in some relationships in front of her, as you know, we didn't end up being the family I thought we would be,
Yeah.
and then there are times, yeah, now she can eat what, well, fucking need to drive through somewhere. Okay, well, here's some chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Okay, it is what it is. Maybe that bottle that you're drinking out of today isn't BPA free or whatever. And,
Yeah.
like, it's fine. We're going to be okay.
Yeah,
We're going to
yeah,
be
we're
okay.
gonna
I
be
put fruit snacks in your lunch. You're going to live. Enjoy hot lunch on Thursday. Mom worked too hard. You know what I mean? Like that shit never would have gone down when she was a
Yeah,
baby.
and it's
It's like,
so hard to live up to those standards. It's basically what our coach both said to us yesterday.
yeah.
It's like, as a mom, you have to like readjust those expectations. Like you're not gonna succeed at everything when you're a mom. Like that's just
No, and not, like, if you're lucky enough to be home like I was for 3 years and not work, and my sole job is to take care of her and the home and stuff like that, then can I make more time for that stuff? Sure. But the reality is I'm a working mom. I take care of myself.
mhm.
I'm my own provider, and that expectation of needing to be that mom and that mom and that mom and that mom went out the fucking
Yeah,
window. Like, it's like basically what Kate was saying. It's an expectation and a reality that's not
yeah,
achievable.
it's not achievable.
So she's had a lunchable, folks. She's had a lunchable.
I think it's hilarious that you were like, in your mind, I'm gonna be the perfect mom. When I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be any fucking good at
Yeah.
this. So like,
You
let's.
were like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep her or not.
Right,
Like,
right. Like my expectations were so low that I'm like, you know what? I'm not a bad mom. I was like,
and mine were the opposite. I was like, I'm gonna like. I will say the one area that you and I are really, I mean, there are many areas you and I are so alike. Let's not
oh
let's
yeah,
not get it
yeah,
twisted. There are areas like we are opposite humans, but like we're also so alike in areas.
mhm,
And the management part of me from like business point
yeah,
and management part of you from business point is very like,
yeah,
it's almost a little military,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
that part of me running so many like people and businesses and employees, it was like I turned my home and my like life into
yeah,
break time, end time, start
yeah,
time, structure. This is how the machine home works.
yeah.
And even now I have a difficult time breaking that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm learning that like life is so short.
Right.
These days are going to go by so
Yeah.
fast. You're learning. Let
Yeah.
them go this way. Maybe they missed a nap. Maybe Saturday night we're at friend's house and she wants to stay up till 9:30 cuz the kids are running around having fun. When normally I'm like, it's 7.
Yeah.
And I'm letting her just like live. And like those are parts of me that like I'm grateful to just see the kind of like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the structure for many moms is also a way to keep their sanity. Because like
oh,
when like the
yeah,
naps are set, you know that those naps are when you're going to be able to have your time. So you make sure that all that
totally.
shit is like set in stone because you're thinking about okay, I shouldn't be speaking about everyone, but at least for
Yeah.
you and I, like
Yeah.
that's our time, you know?
Yeah, and like the nighttime, like when she goes
Yeah.
to bed, I can try and get 2 hours of work done. It's like I need you to go to bed because mommy needs this time to unwind. But there are days she doesn't want to go to bed. There are nights right now where she cries and wants to stay up with me because she doesn't see me all the time. And you know what? I allow it.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay if schedules go off here and there. I mean, overall, I'm still structured,
Yeah.
and so are you. And routine is what works
Yeah.
for both of us,
Yeah, and I'm sure for many,
But
many. I mean, I
yeah,
commend anyone who just kind of goes with the flow. I thought Aton and I were like, we're gonna just take her with us in our schedule. It just did not work that way. So I commend those people that like travel with their kids all over the country, like all these countries, and like
yeah.
they sleep whenever. Like that's
And you know what? Like it does get easier the older she is.
yeah.
She's now at an age where it's like so much easier. Like she can just go play in her room on her own, or
Hmm.
we can travel and she just carries her own stuff.
Yeah.
And life gets, but it's a really fun age right now. And I think honestly, as she's become more of a personality, she's aware, she's smart, she's in tune, she doesn't miss a damn thing.
Hmm.
It even now is going to a new level, Carla,
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
motherhood that like you'll see
Yeah.
where I'm not mama bear anymore. That's just, I'm still mama bear, but like, she's like looking at me as like who I am.
Mhm.
Like she's real in tune with like, who is this? I mean, I walked around the other day, you know, in my G string, I'm like running through the thing, and she's like, "What happened to your underwear?" And I'm like, here we go.
Right.
Here comes like conversations, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or she's like, your ass is jiggling. And I'm like, we need to start talking about like things that I'm not used to talking
You're
about.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a whole new version of even when we were talking about like sexuality, body, you know, who I am. She's very aware
Mhm.
of everything right
Mhm.
now. And so it's not anymore about like, did you feed her? Did she sleep?
Right.
Did she, it's now it's
It's a
like,
it's like a deeper
yeah,
intellectual
yeah,
conversation. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Wow,
yes,
that's crazy
yes,
that it starts so young.
it does.
I want to trail back to a statement you said in the first question, because the first thing that you said out of your mouth when I asked you what's your favorite thing about motherhood is that you said it was life saving. I'm
Oh,
I-
yeah, it was.
I'm curious why. Why was it life saving?
Because I wasn't doing well. I mean, I was in Palm Springs. So I'll make it short. After the reality show, I met her father, and the backlash of the reality show was really hard. You know, it just didn't end well. That last season did not end well for me. And I took a lot of criticism online, and I took a lot of, it just didn't end the way that I would have liked it to
Mhm.
end. And emotionally left me just kind of like, wow, like
Yeah.
y'all just picked me apart. There are blogs about me. My business is no longer running because I'm not this. I've lost my income that was once my income. Who I am is no longer good enough. I'm no longer somebody well received through the L word. I'm in fact now an imposter, you
Right.
know, because I'm with men and I'm not gay enough. I'm confused. I'm, you know, all these things. And I really wanted to just get away,
Mhm.
fall in love with her dad, and be normal again, and not be any reality, not, and just pretend like it didn't happen almost, you know. So we decided to drive to Palm Springs, and I just got like a, you know, a serving job at the Ace, and he was the chef, and I was trying to just in that moment escape and just go back to, you know, go back to pretending it never happened. And then I got pregnant.
Mhm.
But I don't know what the direction of my life would have gone in. I feel like I was so lost. And like you said, I was such a flying kite that like wherever the wind took me, I was going to just drift in that direction. And I don't know that anything, to be honest, oh God, that like makes me emotional. I don't know that anything would have
Grounded you.
grounded me.
Mm.
No human, no partner. Yeah, no job.
Having her gave you a focus, gave you a purpose.
She gave me a purpose. She gave me, yeah, she gave me a purpose. She gave me a reason. She made me feel, see, it's like so emotional for me to even talk about this. Like she made me feel
Just
like she made me feel super special. I would say that.
Mhm.
I felt really special that I got to be her mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think I felt special in that moment. I felt really unspecial
Right,
because
right.
I had so much negativity, things ripping my who I was apart. And all of a sudden God was like, you get to be this little girl's mom.
Mhm.
And I was just like on my knees almost with like, thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, thank you.
Yeah. It's really interesting to hear that, because it's just such an opposite sort of thing for me in my journey. So to hear that it was like it almost sounds awful to say this, but for me it almost like this is going to be hard to say, but for me it almost like felt like it derailed me, in the sense
Mm,
of
hmm.
I thought I knew where I was going, and then, like,
Yeah.
here this happened, and now I'm like, okay, where is this going to take me? Whereas for you, it actually put you back on track. It put you on the
Yeah.
tracks.
Carla, I think I do see that in you as your friend. I do see that when you became a mother, I feel like you went off the track and didn't know where you were supposed to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that's why it's so interesting, that here we are because she put me on a track.
Yeah.
I didn't know the tracks existed. I probably was never going to find one. You know what I mean? Like this train was gone,
Right.
like all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, there's a path in life and you can stay on it and it gets you places,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it's safe." Like
Oh, that's
hop on, all aboard, like let's go. And I don't think I don't imagine, Carla, think about me, you knowing me. Where would I be
right.
if I had not become a mom?
Yeah, it really did. It really did ground. I have thought about this. I'm like, ever since you became a mom, you're just like a completely
Completely different
different
person.
person in a good in it. It's not that it's in a
Yeah.
good way or bad way. You were just different. You were obviously like a
Yeah.
free spirit. No one can hold you down. And then here is this person that's like super grounded, compassionate, empathetic. Like like thinking of you are thinking of yourself, but like you think of everyone else,
Yes.
and it's just like wow,
Yes.
it really has been a beautiful journey to see for you, like how it's changed you and made you blossom.
It has, and I hope one day and I hope through this, for me and her, I just really hope, and I believe she does. I know our relationship. I know how close. We're very
Mhm.
close. Frankie and I we're such a great little duo, and that may change, and I'll embrace that if it does, because I don't know what our future holds, but I think she feels and knows how much I love being her mom.
Mhm. Yeah.
She knows that I love it,
Mhm.
that she feels how much I love her,
Mhm.
and that's been something special between us. We have a sweet bond. And like I said, who knows what she'll be like? She may hate me when she's 16 for something, or she may read up on me and decide she doesn't like my past or something like that. And I'll cross that bridge when it comes.
Mhm.
But she'll never be able to say, like, you didn't take on this role without pure joy,
Yeah.
and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yes, it is absolutely hard. Just so hard. But I'm just thinking about this conversation and how much I'm loving it, because it really is just, two people that we always say like we are polar opposites in so many things, but like there is that common thread between us, which is our motherhood. Even though our mothering journey has been so different, we are bonded because of the
Yeah, oh,
fact
yeah.
that we're mothers and we understand each other and we totally get it, even though we've had different experiences. And this is the way it is with moms. Like, even though our experiences have been different, we're bonded and we understand, even though it didn't happen to us. Like empathy, you know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
have that empathy.
Total empathy.
Yeah.
But that's what happened as becoming a mom for you and becoming a mom for me. So even though we're different, Carla, you've become way more empathetic, way less judgmental, way more compassionate to others
Hmm.
by becoming a mother.
Hmm.
Maybe you're not to the extreme of type of mom I am, but your edges they're soft,
Yeah.
they're not as sharp.
Yeah.
And I became way more empathetic in a different way. Not that I was as cold as you,
Hmm.
but I was just very selfish.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think of other people in a different way. I think of other people's experiences in a new way. I
Hmm.
look at their lives with less judgment, and I look at homes and families and relationships and marriages with just an open heart,
Yeah.
because I think we grow up with this like painted picture of how everyone's supposed to look. And then when it all falls apart in our hands, it's like,
Yeah.
fuck,
See,
man,
that's
do it your way.
yeah.
Be loving, be kind, do you.
Yeah, do you? That's why I want to encourage like more and more women to just like talk about these things, because like it is not that way, that quote unquote way isn't really the way. It's not the way anymore. Like
No, there is no
there is
way. There
no
is no
way.
way.
Yeah, and
And that I think that had we been, what's crazy though is that like my parents didn't raise me in a way. I mean, you want to talk about a family of kites. Like there was no fucking way I had a very bizarre childhood. I'll just say that. No structure, no perfect home, Um but yet I desired that perfect home
Mhm.
because maybe I saw it in friends or maybe
Mhm.
I saw it in those homes that I would go to,
Mhm.
and I was like, wow, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then when I became a mom, I was like, I remember that family. I remember that home. I remember that picket fence. I'm going to have it.
Mhm.
And then you realize that doesn't fucking exist, and you can't just paint it because you become a mom.
I'm just curious though, why did you think that that was what you wanted? If that's not what you even had experienced?
Probably because everything I had experienced, I didn't want.
Mm, okay.
So the only other option would be what that family had.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. If you don't know, if you don't want what you grew up in, and the only other option is like so and so's
Yeah.
house, that's kind of what you strive. What else do you have? And then what I'm realizing is it's not going to be so and so's house. It's not going to be the house I grew up in. It's going to be my house
Right.
in its own unique
Yep,
way.
absolutely. Absolutely. So then that brings me to the last question, which is the basically opposite of what I first asked you, which is so then what is the thing about motherhood that you don't like? Is there anything?
And like again, this is why these questions are so good because I'm that mom that is uncomfortable sharing them,
Mm,
right? Me admitting to the things I don't like about motherhood, it's like a fucking deep guilt,
mhm.
right? And that's why these questions, when we're asking, it's like we need to make space to say it because it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. And I'm learning that it is really difficult for me to talk about a negative thing about being a mom.
Mm.
And that is probably sad that I feel that way, right? It's probably
I mean, no,
just
it's not. But like also knowing that it is okay to,
yeah,
if you have those feelings, to share them because if you don't, you might not be connecting to that person that needs to hear it.
right, right. I think the hardest thing about being a mom for me, it's the thing that saves me, it's the grounding and the responsibility and the being on track. And it's also that I internally am not, it's not innate in me.
Mm.
So it's hard.
So it forces you to be a way that you are naturally not like you're not.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's not in you to be.
no, I mean there's parts of me in this stage of my life that are fighting that like it's like I go a few years, even in a relationship in my youth or in a place, and then I need to go, and then I need to flee, and then I need new, and then I've got the itch to I want to fucking travel again, I want to get up on a plane and go see the world. Like, I miss it,
Mhm.
Carla. I miss that,
Yeah.
and I can't do that. I have school. She has school. She has requirements. She has a schedule, and I can't do that for a long time. I mean, she's still very young, so the part of her that keeps me here and grounded and focused and on track is saving me, but it does battle a part of me that I'm like, fuck, am I losing that like
Yeah.
that spirit that is very me
Mhm.
that can on a whim move to another city, go to another state, like get on a plane to Europe, and I can't do that anymore.
Mhm. Well, I mean,
you
hopefully
know,
they'll
quit my job and just start some new job the way
sure.
that I used to.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I could walk out on a job and be like, fuck you, there's another job I'll get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I didn't live with this, like, things got to go
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
You have really big responsibilities.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, like, as she gets older, you'll be able to do that with her. Like, you'll be
Yeah. And that's what I tell myself is that there will be, and there is, we're getting to a place as she gets older where I can't wait to be able to combine that part of me with her in a healthy way,
mhm.
like, and I think I'm in the journey of figuring out just what that is because I'm still just right now with you figuring out again who I am,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I would like for those parts to coexist. And I don't want her to not see the part of me that is that kite because there's part of that person that I really love. There's part of that part of me that I've never been ashamed of and
Mhm.
I'm not ashamed of, and I had the experiences and the life that I had because of that type of personality.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, I think that that's probably going to come out when she like wants to do things. I feel like you'll be that mom to
Mhm.
be like, go live your life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like you're not going to be
Yeah.
that mom that's like, stay close to me, like be a free
Well, I
bird.
hope not. I mean, right now I'm planning on being homeroom mom in college, so we'll
Oh
see.
my gosh. You know what my sister-in-law just said to me? She said, Carla, do not ever be home like room mom. And I just was like,
Like, I will be there. I was like, "Where are we going to college, honey?" Like, can't wait to, where are we gonna go party? Like,
man. Well,
we'll see. We'll see.
yeah. Well, Romy, this was such a great conversation. I love that we had this conversation back in Austin, and it was just really like a spark of, wow, this is a really important topic, and
It is.
it makes me want to get to know more and more moms out there of this particular part, because it is so different for everyone. And
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I'm like, now I have this curiosity to just like ask every woman, like, what's your motherhood
I
journey?
was just thinking that, Carla, there's almost a part of me that thinks, like, in our interview process of FF at Moments, these are questions we should start asking every mom. It
Yeah.
just lets a mom hear it, because I really think just 2 questions,
Mm-hmm.
and they're so
They
powerful.
are. They really are.
They really are.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
everyone's journey is unique to them, to themselves, to their own, and that also like to share it, like encourage, like share it with anyone that wants to hear it. Like write it out, podcast it out, talk to your friends about it, tell that other mom how, because that there's one person that might be sitting there quietly being like, "Oh man, I totally feel that woman. Like it totally resonates with me. Thank God."
100%. When people speak up, it does things to us. Like, I'm telling you, that Pamela Netflix thing, I know she's some huge star, but her not, if she hadn't decided to share that,
Yeah.
what it evoked in me
Mhm.
was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, like, our stories matter.
Yeah.
They matter,
Yeah.
and they matter for each other to hear it and connect to it and relate to it as a woman, as a mom, you know,
Mhm.
as women that are getting older,
Yeah.
like all of it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm so grateful that we did this.
Yeah.
This was
This
awesome.
was awesome. Well, Romy,
Yeah.
thank you so much for letting me ask you these vulnerable questions and, making the space and having everyone hear your story, your motherhood journey. It was totally different than mine. And I was just sitting here like enthralled listening to it because it's just so different, but it's amazing to hear that. So,
All right.
all righty. Well,
Thank you.
we will be back next week interviewing another madre with her big F it moment. But I guess this is where we're going to say
Just
just F
F
it.
it.